Hi and welcome to today's video. Now today we will be dissecting money, and to be precise, fiat money. You see, I'm really worried about the value currency holds in today's world. And the thing that worries me is that money as we know it is fiat. Now fiat money means that money has no backbone. It is not backed by any other commodities such as precious metals like gold or silver. But somehow this fiat money holds too much power in our economic system, and that seems a bit too unhealthy for me. Today, it's almost impossible to survive without money. If you want food, well, go to the grocery store and spend money. If you want to get treated for an illness you suddenly contracted, well, you have to provide an insurance card or pay for the services. You want to start a family? Oh, you better have your finances in order, or else you'll struggle to provide. You want to enjoy a holiday in a new country? Guess what? Without money, you ain't going nowhere, buddy. Every direction you turn your head to, there is always someone waiting with open hands ready to take your money. It's scary. It really is. So we are simply walking around with printed numbers on papers that are valued for exchange of goods and services. Do you see the problem yet? Well, time for a short history trip. Let's travel back to a time where money had actual value. A time before we lost our power to create wealth. Let's look at the gold standard. Now, the gold standard is a system where a country's currency is directly linked to gold, meaning the value of gold directly influenced the value of the currency. If gold was to cost, let's say, $600 per ounce, then that would mean that the value of the given currency would be, wait for it, 1/600th? I don't know, I'll put the figure in, of an ounce of gold. Important to note is that the country that uses the gold standard was also the one responsible to set the fixed price of the gold, which was to be used when buying and selling. This meant that the currency of the given country that was to use the gold standard was valued more and was used as a base during international trade. Do you see where I'm going with this? Now, the United States took up the gold standard, and thus the dollar was the currency that was commonly used during international trade. Everything was running smoothly up until the Great Depression of 1929. Now, the situation got so bad that people began hoarding gold. Creditors had even begun demanding to receive payment in gold. This was obviously bad news, since it was proving a point that the general public, who are also consumers, were losing their confidence in the economy. Soon after taking office in March of 1933, President Roosevelt declared a nationwide bank moratorium. He forbade banks to pay out gold or even export gold. This was a looming economic meltdown. Now, the following month in April, he ordered for all gold coins and certificate denominations of more than $100 be turned in for money. A fixed price of $20.67 per ounce was set, and a deadline of May 1st was given. By May 10th, the government had taken in $300 million worth of gold coins and $470 million worth of gold certificates. That's a lot of wealth taken away from citizens. The following year, the price of gold was increased to $35 per ounce. See what happened there? This was the beginning of the gold standard abandonment. The government maintained this price up until August 15th of 1971, when the then president decided to completely do away with the gold standard. President Richard Nixon announced that the United States would no longer convert dollars to gold at a fixed price. So money became fiat, without a backbone, and its value relied solely on what we were made to believe. To date, we are only ever encouraged to consume, meaning majority of the population put a lot of faith in paper money. But time and again, inflation tries to warn us not to do that. Prices soar and we are left wondering why we can hardly afford anything. But instead of finding alternative ways to preserve the value of the money we have, many just move on with their old ways and simply never learn. I don't know about you, but I find that a bit dangerous. It's like walking on the edge of a knife, a small slip and one winds up with a nasty slit. Now, it may give you a good feeling knowing that you have huge numbers in your bank account, but also remember, it may also take one economic wrong turn for all that to disappear. Inflation is a good example of an economic wrong turn. Just 2 months ago, inflation in Germany was at 5.2%. Now, with money sitting in a bank account offering a meager 0.02%, you end up losing money. Don't let Fiat blind you. Find ways to invest your money to protect it from losing value. What I find kind of sad is that the moment you mention the word investing, almost everyone starts speaking of how they don't want to lose their money. Completely unwilling to put in money to invest, but the same people will be more than ready to spend more money on consumables that add absolutely no value. And later on, they'll complain about the wealth gap in the society. It just doesn't make sense. Now, in investing, there are two kinds of losses. One, there are realized losses, and two, there are unrealized losses. The former come about when you decide to cash out your investments, meaning that when your investments were already losing money and you decide to cash out, you basically cash out and lose money, right? And the latter is when you leave your investments be. That means that even if your investments are losing money, you simply don't cash out, and that means you don't get to experience the losses, right? As for me, since I began investing, I have had 0 realized losses so far. 0. And that is because I haven't cashed out anything yet, and I'm not planning to in the next 40 years plus. So even when the numbers go down, I know that they can still go up, and as long as I don't cash out, I have absolutely nothing to worry about. My current account always gives a poor church mouse vibe, but that doesn't worry me at all. And I'm okay if I overspend on my investment, but fiat money is one thing I will never rely on fully. It's just too dangerous for me. Now, remember, this is just my own opinion and everyone has their own opinion, so in the end, the decision is yours to make. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have a good week and see you in the next video.